Let's go to Joe in Chappaqua. Joe.
Hey, how you doing, Michael? Like the new format.
Hey, what's going on, Joe?
So yeah, I don't know if you heard that that news that Jim DeGette had said about Pete Alonso, saying that he offered the Mets like a 3-year. He's looking for a 3-year deal,
right?
And it's in their court right now. So to me, I think it's just posturing on Boras's part because they didn't disclose what the amount was. So for all we know, it could be like $180 million for 3 years. And he's just trying to get the Mets fans on the side of Alonso and trying to get Boras more than anyone, like the most money for his client.
Well, and that's his marching orders. That's what he's going to try to do. And it's interesting because it's Jim Duquette, a guy who I certainly respect. He's reporting that Alonso's people have offered the Mets a 3-year contract with opt-outs. Doesn't say what the money is, but as our caller just said, it could be $40 million a year. And it also makes you think there was a previous report earlier in the week that the Mets had an offer out to him for 3 years at $30 million a year. So if they actually did have that out there, then why didn't he take it if he's offering this, unless this is an outrageous number at $50 million a year? Because we don't know. We don't know exactly what's going on. If he has offered the Mets a 3-year deal, then that tells me that there's no market for Pete. The Mariners need a first baseman. They have not taken a bite. The Angels could use a first baseman. They have Shanuel there, but they could move him around and put Pete at first. They have not taken a bite. Because if Boras is reaching for the stars on this, it's not going to turn out well for Pete. So the previous administration, before David Stearns, the previous administration of the Mets in the 2023 season offered him 7 years, $158, and he turned it down. And I think that he would have an absolute bacchanal of a party if somebody offered that same contract now. Remember, after that contract was offered and he turned it down, remember, he was 28 at that time. He fired his agent and hired Boras because he's got bigger numbers in his eyes. I think he got Aaron Judge. He saw that Judge got 360. The guy's right across town, a home run hitter like he. He broke Judge's rookie home run record, all of that. I think he was dreaming, I'm going to get $40 million a year. First basemen don't get that. And one other thing that I would tell Pete, the GM of the Mets, who has a tremendous amount of power, David Stearns, does not believe in long-term contracts for 30-year-old players. And under his watch, the only player who got such a contract with Milwaukee was Christian Yelich. And it didn't work out because Yelich was hurt. And one other thing, it wasn't David Stearns who gave him that contract. It was the owner, Mark Attanasio. And that is my warning to Pete. The only way you're getting the contract that you dream of is if Steve Cohen forces Stearns to do it. Like his heartstrings are tugged because the Met fan base likes Pete Alonso. That's the only way that you're going to get anywhere close to 7 years, $158. So I don't think Pete's in a great situation right now. And there are players out there that are just as good, if not better, and they're not getting these offers. Alex Bregman, not getting the offers he thought. The money he turned down from the Houston Astros, I'd be stunned if another team gives it to him. Anthony Santander, coming off a 44 home run season, still waiting for an offer that he deems appropriate. He is not a Boras client. Bregman is. So here we are on January 10th, and these guys still don't have a job. And the closer it gets to spring training, the closer you get to having to swallow your pride and take something that you don't want or you didn't think you'd have to settle for. If I'm Scott, and Scott's smarter than I am, and I'm Pete, I have to realize the market for first baseman is different than the market for an outfielder. It just is. Look at the way first basemen are valued. The deal that Scott got Mark Teixeira, those days are over. Those days are over. The deal that he got Prince Fielder, over. You're not going to get that anymore. 9 years, 218. It doesn't exist for first basemen. Look at the best first baseman out there. They didn't get deals anywhere close to what he's looking to get for Pete Alonso. Freddie Freeman, nothing like that. Olsen, nothing like that. I think Pete's going to have to settle for what Boras has always called a short-term bridge deal. But that's a dangerous thing for a 30-year-old. Because even if he puts up like a 50 home run season this year and opts out of a short contract, he's going to be 31 then. And the likelihood of getting a long-term deal has been lessened by a year. Pete's in a tough spot. Pete's in a very tough spot.